Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to News with Nathan. I'm back. I told you I'd be back. Although it took me like a whole month to get back. Welcome and good morning. This is a new segment I'm doing called News with Nathan. Simply a new way to bring more information, knowledge, and training to those who are interested in investing in real estate. Thanks so much for joining in. By the way, if you're new here or if it's your first time, post new in the comments so I could say hello and good morning. New segment. If you followed me last month where I was saying where we're going through the Crushing COVID series, you can check that out over on our YouTube channel. If you notice, do you notice anything different? I got a white wall behind me, but we're going to be updating the aesthetics here. I'm actually now live at my private office. Last month, was it last month? Yeah, anyway, when I was doing the Crushing COVID series, that was coming out of my short-term rental, and now I'm back in my private office. Things are up and running, and I've been doing quite a few shows from here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to have you here. So I'm not sure who that was, but if you might be in one of my groups, but good morning. You have to click the syncing button there too, so I can see who you are in the comments. But good morning, Facebook user. Good to have you here, guys. It's let's see here. Let's do that. Okay, great. So this is basically going to be a new segment where I'm going to come to you guys every morning. Look, you see how I'm feeling like a news anchor. I got my little earpiece in. But no, basically I wanted to be able to be more consistent in bringing you guys real estate information, up-to-date news of what's happening in the market, also to bring more understanding. And a little background, if you're new to real estate, but also new to this channel. By the way, you can get every episode we do in organized fashion over on our YouTube channel. Just simply go to YouTube and type in Fearless Millionaire, and you'll be able to get all our other free real estate training videos there. We have a tech. Kaisha, good to have you here. There we go. Great. Good to have you here. And you'll be able to get all our up-to-date information there. In regards to real estate training, as well as all these segments and everything that we've done. So a lot more public recently, going public. Just to give you a little background about myself, I've been investing in real estate for the past 15 years, coming up on 15 years. And most of that real estate investing and being in the education and seminar business has been very private. So I haven't done a lot of online marketing or any online stuff. A lot of the stuff I've done has been in the private sector, private world, mostly in the real estate seminars and education training, and bringing a lot of that now to the forefront because things are changing, times are changing. And I definitely see that wave coming. So I want to be able to share more of this information with you, as I've said recently in previous shows that I've done, to share more up-to-date information that you can make more wise decisions in your real estate investing path. And of course, along the way, I'm so addicted to investing that I talk about other forms of investing. You can check it all out on the YouTube channel where I talk about long-term investing, dividend investing, cash flow investing. So definitely real estate being at the forefront of that. So by the way, if you have any questions along the way, along this journey, don't hesitate to shoot a question right here on the chat or say hello. Or you can also, that's probably the best way where I'm trying to move. I get emails every day filled with questions, and sometimes it's a little hard for me to get back to every single one of them. I even have my assistant Aubrey who helps me filter out through some of these questions. And I know this would be a better platform where people can get their questions more instantly. I've been doing a little bit of research and testing with some of my clients, my inner circle clients that I work with. And we've been testing out a few different platforms. And I've actually taken 3 different groups. And I've been seeing the responses and the results that each group has been getting. This is very specific research. And I found that a much more fast approach is not so much email, but more maybe instant chatting, messaging, videos. And that's where we're going to be bringing you more of this kind of, instant or faster, training along the way. So, All right, so let's start off with today's news. And basically, you can expect more of this kind of news every morning, Monday through Friday, not every day, because I won't do it on Saturdays or Sundays, but every day through the week. This also gives me the ability to be more answer more of your questions along the week, but coming to you every day of the week, bringing you just a segment about what's happening in the real estate world of what's going on. We got some really unique news that's happening. There is nothing. Listen, I'm not one to, create fear in the marketplace or anything like that. And that, as you know, in the brand of Fearless Millionaire, we're all about creating clarity, building confidence, and creating a sustainable cash flow in people's lives. That's really what it's about. So I'm not one to create fear, but learn how to mitigate risk and also to increase your confidence to help you manage the fear better. So you can help you fear less. Yeah. All right. So I wanted to share a few important parts that have come up recently this month, and I know we got a lot of back and forth with what's going on with the next stimulus. I'm going to be doing some news about that in the next few days. We're potentially hearing that there's going to be another round of stimulus, which will be great for a lot of people. A lot of people right now need stimulus, not only in personal checks or personal deposits, but also for business. And now I have told many of my clients, people in my inner circles, my coaching clients, I've told them that even if their business was either just starting or they were, maybe they've been in business for a year or they're an independent contractor, to go and get stimulus money. Some of it is I'm going to say forgivable. Some of it is grant money. Some of it is forgivable money, and some of it is a loan. So you have to find what's best for you. And a lot of banks are also providing guidance on this, because the government has basically given the banks to I don't want to call it regulation, but I would say more of the authority and processing procedures through banks. So if you haven't done that already, I highly recommend you should. This could be investing funds for your business, could be money to sustain you over the next 6 months. This could also be money to help you buy another piece of property. All right. So there are many different avenues. One of my clients got $17,000. Another one of my clients, I believe, got $8,000. Another one got $5,000. And let me tell you, one of those people put money towards a down payment on a property. Another person used that for marketing in their business. Another person's using it to start and launch their business finally. So whatever it is for you, this is an opportunity that you can take and have that opportunity. If you've ever been thinking about it, if you've ever been on the sidelines thinking about investing in real estate, or now's a great time to make that happen, even if you were bootstrapping it or tight on funds. So let's talk about what's going on in the marketplace today. Let's talk about what's been happening. Now, this article that just came out, I'm going to share my screen, and this article that just came out on July 1st. Okay, hold on a second. I have to give new permissions here. I should have prepared oh no. Okay. Sorry about that. There you go. So okay, hopefully you can see my screen there, yeah? Okay, let's do that later. Okay, so you can see my screen, yeah? Sorry about that. I just got a new computer and I was just putting the settings together here. Okay, so what you can see on my screen here is we have the U.S. construction, right? Spending drops by 2.1% in May. Okay, now this is going back just a few months ago, but why is this important? Why do we look at what has to do with construction and home building? Well, that has a big impact on the rest of single family properties. Okay, and typically what's happening now. The good news is, right, what we've been seeing on the purchase side, right, which I'm going to get to this in just a second, but right here you can see on the purchase side, we've been seeing that the mortgage rates have been falling more and more it seems like almost every week, but it's every month we're having mortgage rates drop more and more every month. And that's a great thing. It gives more people the opportunity to get into buying a property, whether they're a first-time homeowner or they're refinancing. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard people refinancing their properties right now over and over again. Actually, even a good friend of mine has refinanced some of his properties and saving, I think some of them are like $400 a month, some of them are $200 a month, but it's multiple savings over the past few months. Excuse me, just recently with the refinance, which is going to turn into over $1,000, $2,000 a year in savings. Well, what could you do with that kind of savings if you're refinancing? Well, you could double down on principal, right? You could double down, you could make extra payments, or you could put that money towards, maybe a savings for short term. Maybe you want to buy another property, or you could double down on debt, whatever it may be. But the reality is this opportunity where people have been in fixed rates at maybe 5.5, 4.5, now it gives them the opportunity to get as low as 2.9, 2.8, and even lower. We're seeing even rates crawl down even lower. And the interesting thing, I get asked this all the time, being here in Portugal, the rates, I just got quoted on a commercial deal at 1.8, and I was able to negotiate it down to 1.5. And I would love to see that happen also in the U.S. So these are the great things that are happening. Gives more people, this buying spree of what's happening, and that's actually what we're seeing. We're seeing a decrease in construction just in these past few months, but we're seeing an increase in sales, right? So that's really unique. And the real estate market hasn't been hit so much as compared as, like, for example, in March, where the stocks market, the most, the volatile market, has been hit the most, but the real estate market is still going strong. Just had a friend of mine call me yesterday saying he got an accepted offer, $50,000 deposit, cash deposit down on a property of 2 properties that he sold together for $1 million. Yeah. So, and that was, by the way, so the whole point of that was it was priced at over $200,000 more than what it was last year. So, and that's just a simple example, but there is many of these booming markets that are happening, and I don't think real estate, we're going to see it slow down anyway. So here's the thing. Let's talk about how this impacts you in a different way. So Zillow just made an announcement yesterday or the day before. I don't even know what day it is today. What day is it? Is it the 9th or the 8th? You tell me. I don't even keep track. All I know is I've been eating chocolate since 11 o'clock. My 11 o'clock, but your whatever time it is over there. What is it, 8 o'clock for you guys on the East Coast? I usually go off East Coast, by the way. But man, I was up at like 6 o'clock this morning. I started my day and I couldn't wait to zero down in on what we got happening. Anyway, we're talking about Zillow offers. They just started resuming business in 5 more markets. Now they're in a total of 24 markets, so they're expanding. They're resuming because they had a pause a few months ago. They kind of like retracted, especially during COVID, but now they're expanding in 5 more markets. So what is Zillow offers? This is something that a lot of agents don't like. And it's a lot of interesting because it can make a lot of real estate investors a little scared. But the reality is there's nothing to fear. It just reality is you have to get more, branded and build your business with a brand, a theme, and find a niche to help your customers even more. What Zillow offers gives home sellers the opportunity to sell their property directly through Zillow, right? Directly through Zillow. So they can get an offer directly through Zillow, and Zillow has this, back end machine of business to get their property purchased. Okay. So now we're seeing home sellers in Los Angeles, Riverside, California, Minneapolis, Cincinnati, and Orlando, and Florida. Actually, let me turn the camera around. Sorry. There you go. So we're seeing all these places, and Florida can once again sell their homes directly to Zillow offers. About a month ago, iBuying resumed. Now, iBuying, by the way, iBuying is a competitor to Zillow offers. They resumed more business back in Atlanta, Dallas, San Antonio, and a bunch of other places. So here's the president, where Jeremy Waxman says home sellers want a more convenient, seamless, and safe way to sell their home. And we're excited to bring back Zillow offers back to more sellers around the country. This is very true, and it's actually a point I want to bring up to you right now, because you've probably heard me say this even last month or in my trainings and whatnot, is that it's true. Sellers want a more simpler way. There's nothing more complicated in our world. We're in 2020. There's nothing more complicated than purchasing a home, selling a home. And in the world that we live in today, where technology is the leader, the house buying and selling process has to be the most ancient, antiquated processes that are out there. And it's the most complicated, confusing. It drives a lot of fear. There's so many people who don't know the process of buying a home and how to do that. And that's where sometimes a lot of agents can help out in that process, because not everyone is going to be, I would say, proactive in going online, researching and following the steps. The good thing with technology is you can easily today go to something like YouTube and find the how to buy a house process, right? It can be all done for you. Well, a lot of what newer companies are doing, such as like iBuyer, or Zillow Offers, I think another one's called HomePad. Don't quote me on that right now, but the reality, a lot of these companies, what they're doing, they're using technology to make the home buying process a lot easier for home buyers and home sellers, homeowners, to either buy or sell. All right. So that's a very, very powerful thing. And I think this is long overdue, in my opinion. I'd love to know what you think about this. I'd like to know if you think it's long overdue that this process be reduced. For example, when I was a mortgage broker, however many years ago, when I was a mortgage broker, it literally took on average to close a residential home mortgage about 45 days. Paperwork here and there, everything wasn't online. I don't even think DocuSign was created at the time, okay? And if it was very antiquated itself. But what the process and the paperwork, and still to this day, it still exists that way. Not that it's gone completely away, but it's still existing that way. The paperwork and process can be so overwhelming and cumbersome to even the broker, right? And not including just the homeowner, right? And the seller or the buyer. It can be a cumbersome process, and it's a big learning curve. It's also a big investment. And a lot of people, get confused, they get nervous, they're not sure of the process. So this stuff needs to be changed. That's what I believe. That's what I advocate for. This process needs to be changed. Now, we've seen recently some bigger banks take some small steps, and companies like Zillow, the Zillow Group, and also iBuyers, and many others. We're starting to see a slow tick every year. A few more companies come out where they're, creating new systems and processes to reduce the time frame from maybe 45 days to 30 days to 3 weeks, something like that. And I think in the very near future, probably within the next 10 years, we're going to have a completely streamlined buying and selling process without all the paperwork and documents and emails back and forth and 25 signatures, right? There's a lot, there's a big process that's involved. And I think in the coming years, we're going to see that change dramatically. And so, having companies like Zillow and many others, iBuyers, and bigger companies who are leading with technology at the forefront to help make these changes is just going to have the ripple down effect, the trickle down effect to help, to help people, buy a home or sell a home. All right, so here going back to, it says right here, the rapid adoption of technology and virtual tools is creating a new and safer landscape for the entire real estate experience, as Waxman said. He also said Zillow offers a homeowner can sell their house without any traditional hassles of open houses, home showings, or prepping a house for sale, and can have more certainty and control than ever before, all on their own timeline. Now, this company does offer some uniqueness to the way they buy their homes, but I want to draw your attention to this part. The rapid adoption of technology and virtual tools is creating a new and safer landscape for the entire real estate experience. And that's the quote that I want you to remember as we move forward into this newer world of technology in real estate and what's coming up, what we can look forward to. It's really exciting, actually, by the way. I get excited about it. And yet at the same time, I get frustrated with it. One of the things I got really frustrated with, and you can let me know if you face the same thing, post it in the comments. If you were doing a closing during COVID, it was almost like, good luck. We'll get your closing done in 3 or 4 weeks. And I can't tell you, I probably had over 12 closings. If I count that correctly, it's over 10. I know that could be 12, could be 13. I had over 12 closings that got delayed beyond 3 to 4 weeks. So what that means is we would have a set date for whatever, let's just say March 20th. It was supposed to close on March 20th and it got pushed to, July, right? I mean, it just got pushed out. And what this created was an admin nightmare. It literally created a lot more emails back and forth and where are we at in the process. And during lockdown, we had this transition of not only real estate attorneys, but also title companies and escrow companies who went from going physical, local, paper trail to completely digital, remote, right? And I'm so glad it happened. Don't get me wrong. I hate the fact that there's a virus to make this happen. I wish it was just like a mandated law. Like everybody has to go digital by July 30th, right? Boom. Mandated law, federal law, boom, done. I wish it was rather like that than having people to go through, a virus to make this happen. Unfortunately and fortunately, we have a virus to deal with, but then we have the opportunity of the transition faster. I was just watching a video about the airline industry and how it's actually from Delta. It was a Delta Airlines video, and I have a lot of positions in Delta, and it's not only a company that I fly with most of the time, and it's a company that I believe in. It's got a great reputation and the customer service is beyond belief. And they also have, a great mobile app, but my point is that I was watching one of their videos from one of the investor relation updates, and one of the things I saw was that they've been always progressive about bio screening technology, and even at gates in Atlanta and at Atlanta airport. But now because of COVID, now they're like really moving forward with how people board planes, how people are checking in, and everything's going to be biometric. Something I've been pushing for verbally for a long time and very supportive of. By now, I would think 2020, we should already be at this point, right? We should already be there. And I think that especially the United States is probably 10 years behind compared to the eastern part of the world. And what I'd love to see happen is not only just in real estate, but in other aspects, is these tools and processes happen a lot faster. And that might scare a lot of people. It might be like, wait, what about my privacy and everything? And I think, of course, privacy first. That's really important. But a lot of these tools can help make life a lot easier and faster, and also reduce security risks. Let me give you an example when it comes to verifications or, the process of, signing documents, right? There's a lot of security that needs to be done. One of the coolest things I've seen during COVID, and what I'm so grateful for that's happened, because prior to COVID, I was doing e-notarization for the past 6 years. Okay. I think I told you guys that during crushing COVID. I've been a remote real estate investor it's longer than that. I'm sorry. We're about 7 years, right? Yeah, about 6-7 years. Here's the reality of it. When I would need something notarized, I would go or send someone to go get the notarization done, right? When I went remote and did remote real estate investing, I started using e-notaries. I personally like to use notarize.com, and I started using that more and more and more. And it was like, after a while, when I moved out of the United States, it was like, yeah, that's my one source, right? Notarize.com, get everything done. Well, guess what? Not every state has the not the authority. Not every state allows, okay? Not every state allows e-notarizations. So there would be times where I'd run into an issue with a title company or an attorney, and they would say, oh, we don't allow that here. We don't have e-notarization. So guess what? I have another process to do, and I have to make sure that gets done through a human being, okay? Could be a power of attorney, so on and so forth. Now, because of COVID, there was I don't know, I don't want to call it a federal law. Maybe I'll look into this and get you those updates, but it was a definitely progressive laws that were passed on a state level to allow e-notarizations because of COVID. I thought that was a great thing. Again, I wish it didn't take COVID to make this happen, because why would we have to struggle to get just to get a notarization from a notary, right? I mean, come on. It's a simple process. So if you haven't ever checked out notarize.com, I highly recommend it in your real estate investing business, whether you're investing locally or you're investing virtually. I just don't understand the process. I don't understand the idea of going to do this, locally, right? You're going to pay the same amount of money in literally 10 minutes or less. You can have your documents notarized right online rather than driving to go get it notarized and spending all that time, at least 30 minutes to an hour. Anyway, my point is that one of the great things I found that happened in the real estate investing industry is that now I believe it's all states have allowed e-notarization with, during COVID, because of COVID. So that is great news. I think that's phenomenal because it now allows us, remote real estate investors to get more done easily. So that completely annihilates this other process that I would have to do, which would just involve more paperwork, more signatures, more tasks. So it's truly a great thing. So those are some of the good things. Those are the news updates I have for today. We have, like I said earlier, we have a decrease in building of properties, right? Construction of properties, but we have an increase in purchases, right? And that's a great sign. We have an increase in purchases and still overbidding. And because of COVID, it's kind of interesting that all this is happening, because even in the West Coast, and I'll share more about this tomorrow. I'll share more and give you updates about this tomorrow of what's happening in the, leasing rentals, because that has a big impact in the economy as well, where people cannot make their rent payments or their lease payments and they can't pay their mortgage. Those are other unique factors that are, triggering the marketplace. And because of COVID, and now we're on our second wave here, I call it a second wave. I think the news is calling that also. But now that we're into our second wave, this isn't going away quickly. I know a few months ago, people, some of my friends that I was talking to were like, "You're nuts. There's not going to be a second wave." And I was like, no, there's probably going to be a second wave. This is not a quick 3-month thing. This is definitely a year. Something this large, where it takes an entire world or an entire country to make these kind of drastic changes, doesn't just go away overnight. So again, there's some positives and negatives that we got to look into, and we got to focus on the positive, because I think after all, we're going to come out of this even stronger and better. And I think we're going to become a lot more technically sound in the world, which is my favorite part, because I feel like we're too behind. All right, that's today's show. I hope you've enjoyed this segment. By the way, if you have and you want, there's maybe specific things you want to know about that I can share on the show moving forward, let me know. You can just put it in any of the comments, whether you're seeing this live or on replay. But thanks so much for joining in. We're going to be here tomorrow up until Friday, Monday through Friday, same time, same place at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And we'll be bringing you the real estate news and trends that are happening. All right. Thanks so much for joining in.